So this is the optimization session for the roller coaster, the xBrat roller coaster auto trader bootcamp. So the first thing we want to do is get a new chart. We can either select down here on our chart set to actually add a new chart, or go to the control panel and click new. The first thing we're going to do is go to ES. The next thing we want is, I'm particularly looking at tick charts right now, and I'm just going to put this on 150 ticks, which is a standard setting, but I'm going to look back 30 days because I need to understand what's going off over 30 days so I can understand how to actually optimize this properly. But the first thing to do is get this chart up and running. So we got this chart. So a blank chart, no indicators, no strategies, nothing. It's a 150 tick chart. To load up the, you've already gone through the installation process as part of that email when you got the auto trader. But the next thing to do is to actually put it onto a chart. So when you right click on the chart, go to strategies. Go to xBrat that's available, and then we're looking for roller coaster here. So right from the beginning, we have just the standard default settings here. So just click apply. You get an order confirmation. Just click OK, and that's loading up in the background that auto trader. So let's go through the next bit now is to enable it and to see what's happening. So first of all, everything is as default. So we're going to put the entry quantity as 1, stop market high, long entry price offset. Okay, so we need to set that probably, 2 for me is ideal. Short entry offset is 2 below the low. We're going to have to expire that after 15, and then we can mess around with that. So max trades per day, so we can actually leave that at 0 to begin with, because we want to get an initial set of data to see how this performs. And the max risk per trade, to be honest, on this small time frame, we want to be no more than 25 ticks. Stop line EMA period is 21, which is standard default. Long profit target 300 ticks. If it reaches 300 ticks, we want to take the profit. That's a long way away, and on this type of chart, very unlikely to get there. Everything else is default. It's disabled. Max profit, max loss, max drawdown, max number of wins, max losses, all disabled. And then the trading session mode is disabled also, because we just want to plot on the chart and get a performance report for everything on that strategy. So that's all good. Then we want to check enable and click apply. Click OK, and then it calculates for those 30 days. You need to give it a little while. Sending it out more than 30 days will actually take a longer time to calculate. Remember, this is only a 150 tick chart, so there's a hell of a lot of information to do, and it's got to print them all on the chart, work them out, where the exits were, where there were no trades, and that sort of thing. So it's calculating every single trade in the last 30 days with those basic criteria that we've done for the entry offsets, the expiry after M bars, and the max risk. So I'm just going to pause the video until this has finished calculating. Okay, so once that's finished calculating, just click OK to clear that box away, and we just want to scrunch up there a little bit. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is consider some of the options to change and start to filter through. But one of the first things I want to do is right click on the chart, hit the strategy performance report, real time and historical. I just want to see overall the profit factor is 0.74. Obviously we haven't done any optimization yet, but that's still a little low for me. And 2,490 trades, still it was too many. So what I want to do then is go up in 50 tick increments, and what I'm trying to do with this strategy is look to trade out of those really high volatile times, because you know, when the high volatile times comes, you're looking at 500 tick charts and things like that. But I want to trade during the European session, auto trade, and sort of in the afternoon of the US session, where there's less volatility, so the tick charts are smoother on a smaller tick. So when I want to scalp when there's less volatility, but there's still more trades. So I can right click on there and export it. If I just click save, it'll open up a spreadsheet on my desktop. I can move that to another screen, just so I can compare it when I make some simple changes. So to make those simple changes, I'm just going to right click, go onto data series. I'm going to go to 200 ticks, and again, those sophisticated traders will know the size of the charts that they trade a lot, whether it's tick charts, Renko, Uni Renko, and you will use that as a starting point, if you like. So I'm just going to click apply, and again it will recalculate now on that 200 tick chart. So it may take some time because we haven't got any filters, so there's going to be a real lot of trades there. So just need to take my time. I'm just going to pause the video and wait for that to finish calculating. So that's finished calculating. Click OK, clear that away. Let's right click again, look on the strategy performance report. Okay, so this time we've got slightly higher, we've got quite a lot of less trades, and the profit factor is over 0.8. So you know, for me that's a starting point, and I want to now understand what's really going off with the trades, on what time of day, what days of the week, and things like that, where I can start to make some optimizations to look for those best winning trades. Because right now the max drawdown is 22,000. You know, this is not good, but what we need to do is to optimize to find those sweet spots, if you like. So next is to try and use the tools that NinjaTrader gives us to identify those sweet spots. So if we go to analysis, I've gone to the standard comes on daily. What I want to do is go to hour of the day. I want to see really when this occurs, we get green. Okay, very obviously in this time when it's really volatile, we're red. And this is why I want to stay away from that time. But I can see two sort of time slots here, really from sort of 2 to 3 a.m. or 1:30 to 3 a.m. or something like that. I don't want this slot. I want, you know, a slot like this where we're going to generate some over this 30-day period. We've generated net profits all the time. So I'm going to take a note of those times, really, so how to give me a start. So, you know, we're going to probably go from 2 a.m. maybe to 3 a.m. to begin with, maybe a little earlier. And then we're going to go from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., something like that. So we're just going to just use those to start to narrow down and get that profit factor better, get that drawdown better. So let's just close that down. We're going to right click, go to our strategies, and we're going to just uncheck that enabled and click apply. So the first thing we need to do now is we need to go down to trading sessions mode. To begin with, we're going to put it on all days. Okay, and like we said, we're going to go from 01:45 maybe a.m. Remember that the European and London session opens at 3 a.m. so we want to be out of there before that volatility. So we're almost doing like pre-market Europe. So we want to probably be at 2:45 a.m. So a nice short window. We're going to the max number of trades will leave at 0, so there's no maximum. It just keeps going. And those long and short profit targets at 300, yes, if we get a runner, it takes 300 ticks, we're quite happy to take our profit there. We're going to enable another second session, and we're going to change that, and we're going to go from 4:30 p.m. So we're going to put 04:30 p.m. to probably 8 p.m. Let's see where that goes. So we've got those 2 sessions. We're going to click apply. We're going to go back up to the top. We're going to check the enabled, and we're going to click apply again. Now this calculation should take less time because there's less trades to calculate, because we've told them only to trade between certain times. So I'll just wait while that is calculating. Now the reason why I'm not using the strategy optimize is because I like to understand the behavior, and I like them to print on the chart so I can understand both the winning, but more importantly the losing trades. You know, where was those losing trades, what time of the day, do we need to adjust those time slots slightly, or was there a specific day when it wasn't working as well as the others? And you know, do we need to adjust that max risk? And there's those things, but you can only see that on a strategy optimizer. It doesn't see that behavior. So we've done that initial filtration. So let's look at the strategy performance report now. In theory, should be much better. It's not that much better right now. Why is that? Let's have a look. Let's go back to trades again. We are getting a mixture. Let's just go to the analysis now. Go to the hours of the day. Okay, there's something wrong. It's still taking trades at this point. Let's go and uncheck this and try again. You've got to be very careful. Maybe I've made a mistake, and those things can happen. So let's go back through all days. 0, there, look, there it is. 01:45 a.m. That should be a.m. and not p.m. So that's the difference. I did that intentionally, but I wanted to show it's very, very important when you're optimizing. If you've got only an hour slot that you want to trade it every day, make sure that that AM and AM is the same with the PM here. We click apply and we go again. This time it should calculate a lot quicker because we have the right time slots now to give the auto trader some zones in which they can trade. So again, we'll just wait for that to finish calculating. We'll hit that performance report and we'll start to narrow down some things here. So again, this is quite a laborious process, but it's very, very important. So let's right click now and click on that strategy performance. And all of a sudden now a profit factor of 2.38 with a total net profit of $4,000 over 30 days. Look, we've reduced that number of trades from over 2,000 to only 46 trades. So we are looking pretty good for now. We just need to have a look at this analysis now. So let's go to those hours of the day. That looks pretty good. We've got the right zone there. We can see there are some losses during those, so we may have to adjust slightly. Let's now just go to days of the week. Monday doesn't look good. Okay, so despite us putting it on all days, Monday is still a poor day. So we can adjust this now to take out Mondays. And that will help our profit. So let's just do that. So let's close that down. Again, we're going to right click on strategies. And whether you can hear, one of my French bulldogs is at my feet. I work from home and he's one of my babies and he's snoring his head off underneath my desk. So I do apologize, but this is real life. I'm not in a studio, I'm at home. So let's uncheck enabled and let's click apply. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're not going to go all days. We are going to go and change this from all days to select days. So remember these two time slots. We are 1:45 to 2:45 and we are 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, but we're only going to do this on Sundays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. We need to miss out that Monday because it's not good. So let's change this now. So remember, on the general setting, we've got 15 of these sessions we can enable. So we're going to go to Sunday. Now with Sunday, we only need the PM slot. We don't need the AM slot because it doesn't open then. So we are 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, leave number of trades 0. So then we go to Tuesday. So we need a Tuesday morning now from 01:45 a.m. to Tuesday 02:45. So this is really pre-market Europe. Okay, really important to understand these times of the day where we get lots of winning trades. It's all part of that optimization process. So that's the Tuesday morning. We need Tuesday afternoon now, so we need to change this Tuesday to Tuesday, and we are 4:30 p.m. Remember to change the AM and PMs to 8 p.m. So that's Tuesday done. Again, quite a bit of work to do, but again, this is a business. You've got to make sure this is right, all part of this optimization process. So now we're on Wednesday mornings. Change these over, and we are 01:45 to 02:45. Okay, all this work pays off in the end. And where I am, and then we'll do the same for the Wednesday afternoon. So I'm going to pause the video there and get the rest done. You don't want to watch me do all of those. Okay, so those are done, but notice on the Friday I'm only doing the morning session. I'm not doing the afternoon session because the market's closed on a Friday and I don't want to be caught in any trade, I don't want any hassle at all. So just the Friday mornings. So they're all done. I need to check we are 1:45, we're all the AMs and the PMs are right. Thursday to Thursday is correct as well. And just do one final check just to make sure that the days match, the AMs and the PMs match, and we're all good to go. There you go. Made a mistake there. Didn't change that to AM on the Tuesday there. So again, that final check, very important, and we are good to go. So we can click apply, so that saves it there, and let's go then and click enabled. So this is a relatively quick process, so to speak, and obviously this is just for one instrument, ES, on the 200 ticks out of those sessions. Now obviously you'll be looking for other types of chart sets, whether it's Renko, Uni Renko, during those high volatile times, you know, if that's the way you want to optimize sessions. But you can run sessions on different chart sets for different types of tick charts. So you could open another chart set on ES, on Uni Renko, just for trading during that volatile time when the market's open. So that's done. Let's click OK. Let's hit that strategy performance report now, and we should be getting towards where we want to be. So we've had 41 trades, 26 total number of winning trades, 15 losing trades, We've got a profit factor of 2.55. So we've taken some of those Monday trades away. Largest winning trade $744 down here, largest losing trade $317. The max drawdown, importantly, is below $1,000, but still not good enough for me on one contract. Absolutely not. So we can start to work a little bit more now. So first thing I want to do is just want to check on this analysis. We can see an equity curve growth here, which is really good for the last 30 days. We can see where, we get drawdowns, we get the winners, we get the drawdowns again, and then we just go, which is good. I want to just check on that hour of the day, still good. Let's check on day of the week. We're all green there. Less trades there, less trades on that Sunday, but we're safe. Okay, that's the main thing. I just want to go back to that summary. I want to right click, I want to export it, and just check, put that again, that spreadsheet goes with the other one here. So that's now my next starting point, my iteration 3, if you like. So we're in profit over that 30 days. Not quite happy with that max drawdown. So there's some things we can do to change that. So what I want to do first is I just want to scrunch those up, because more importantly now, I've got to be looking at some of the losers, because I can cut down where we get there. So we had a great winner here, for example. There was a loser at this point. There was a winner. So in that day we were still net positive, but in reality that was quite a big loser. If I've just got a number of consecutive losers, that's what I'm really looking for. So again, it's about behavior. With the strategy analyzer, you can't see the price action, the behavior. Again, these are all winning trades. These were good trades. Winner, 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 winner. Nothing really to learn from there. I've optimized to get the winners. What I want to do now is reduce that drawdown. There's a lot of winners there. There weren't many, losers, but we did have a streak of losers, and here we go again. So we had a couple of losers here on the top between this time and this time. This was a risk-free trade, and this was a loser. So what I'm going to do right now is going to right click, and the next thing I'm going to work on is my max loss. Okay, now you've got to decide on what your max loss is for that particular trading day, for the strategy. So what I'm going to do, go onto strategies again. I'm going to uncheck enabled and click apply. So the first thing I'm going to do now is go to max loss. Okay, now I want this on daily strategy loss amount. So if I lose, and I'm going to put that at $200. Okay, so if I lose $200 during a day, so I've consecutive of 2 losing trades, and it takes me over $200, just stops trading for the day. It's my safety net. So I'm going to click apply there. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to recalculate. So while that's calculating, I'll bring the spreadsheet over. Some of the things we need to be looking at is obviously this max drawdown here. Some of the other things we want to be looking at is this max consecutive losers of 4. We want to reduce that a bit. I'd like to get more max consecutive winners. Largest losing trade isn't too bad, but because we get 4 max consecutive losers, that's where our drawdown becomes reasonably high. So if we can stop that rot, if you like, of consecutive losers by getting that max loss down, spotting a bad day basically, we should be able to reduce that max drawdown. So this is not an exact science. We need to change one thing at a time from now on to reduce the drawdown, keep a good net profit, keep that profit factor reasonably high. Now, with this type of scalping strategy, you're not going to get an 80% win rate, otherwise you won't get enough trades. So you got to have those times of the day and those days of the week to give you enough trades, and anything over 50%. With that massive difference between winning trades and losing trades is really good. So again, when we look at average winning trade here, $211, average losing trade $144. So if we were at 50-50, we would still be net profit. We want to be a lot better than that, but these are some of the things we've got to keep an eye on as we're changing one thing at a time. So that's now done. You can see here, after this first losing trade, we get to that max loss. Now, let's have a look at the strategy performance report before we look at anything else. Has that made a difference? Okay, so that's reduced that max drawdown slightly. Not a great deal. Okay, it's not decreased that max losers. So now we need to mess around with that figure a little bit. So the total number of trades has gone down a little bit because we were at 41. So it's only reduced it by 2 trades. So for me, I want to go down a little bit first and up a little bit just to mess around. So we were, a couple $100 less on net profit. Profit factor's gone up. Max drawdown's gone down, but not a great deal. So I'm just going to mess around with that. I'm just going to right click on here again and export that spreadsheet. Okay, so I've got the comparison. So again, I'm going to go to strategies. So we're only looking at one filter from when we've done that basic days of the week, times of the day, and we've got that sweet spot, if you like. Now to get fully optimized, we need to change one thing at a time until we get it right. So we're going back down to max loss. So let's go down to 150. Now this could be a little too much. We're just going to click apply there, and we're going to go one more time. So again, while that's calculating, go back to the spreadsheet. We've reduced that max drawdown, which is good. The profit factor has gone up, which is good. We're going to keep an eye out on these average winning trades and average losing trades. Again, the largest losing trade now is under $300 compared to, it was $317 before, it's $292. Largest winning trade is still the same, okay, at $744. So we're pretty good. That's going to say losers. We can do something there with the next filter that we're going to use. But for now, let's see what we got. So strategy performance, let's go again. Okay, so we've increased the profit factor to 3.12 compared to 2.63. We've increased the total net profit from 3126 to 3432. And we've reduced the max drawdown to 771. So we're going in the right direction. 38 trades this time, 65% win rate. So the average winning trade now, 201.97, exactly the same. We've gone from 137 average losing trade to 124, which is good. The largest losing trade has gone from 292 to 255. That's really, really good. We've still got this max consecutive losers, which is a little concern. So the next thing we want to do is, we are looking good now. Profit factor over 3 is phenomenal. But I still don't like this drawdown. I'd like to reduce it more. So what I want to do is, I just want to look at maybe one more on the max loss, because sometimes when these run, they run. So I'm just going to go down. Max loss, we're going to go 125 now. It's only another 2 ticks. But let's just see what I do. It's fine tuning now. It could send us the wrong way. Right. One thing I've done, and I've made a mistake, and I didn't do it intentionally, but again, it's about concentration here because I'm trying to make a video. I've got to put that back at 150. I'm going to click apply. I didn't right click and get the updated spreadsheet for the performance report. This is very important because you need to compare it each time. Your memory will fade if you've got that spreadsheet downloaded, and you can compare, you can start to track the progress of the optimization, because this one little change that I make might take me the wrong way, but unless I can compare it, it's very, very difficult to keep remembering, because you're changing little bits at a time. So let's just go back to that strategy performance report. Let's right click and let's export that spreadsheet. Okay. Again, it's very, very important. This is a process. Okay. Very, very important process. Let's go back to right click, strategies. Let's disable and let's change that to 125 now. You'll know when you've gone the wrong way, because the figures will change for the net profit drastically. So we just want to make sure that we get this trade and we get the runners. So if it does come back against us, that we say, you know, 125 bucks, I'm out. Okay, because it's just going to continue to go down. But the idea is to just remember to keep changing one thing, keep optimizing one thing until we get to the point where we're happy with that. We go to the next filter to help us try, and in a lot of cases it's reduced that max drawdown, which is very important. So that's done. Let's have a look and see what that's done. So actually that profit has increased from 3432 to 3614. The profit factor's increased. More importantly, we've gone from 771 max drawdown to 621, which is really good. Another trade less. We're about the same on percentage profitable. You know, we've gone, average winning trade now is 209 compared to 201. Average losing trade is only 108. So we're almost twice as much on the average winning trade as we are on the losing trade. So we're on the right tracks. Max consecutive losers still 4. Not brilliant. Really like to get that down if we can. Average, you know, largest losing trade, $255. Probably stayed the same compared to the other. So some of these data points now are staying the same. So we're getting to the point now where we're getting to the maximum where we can adjust this max loss. But remember, that max loss for the day, if you hit that 125 bucks, you're done. It's not going to trade for the rest of the day, and it keeps you safe. So I'm going to make one more change there. I'm going to right click, export this to begin with. And we're going to change that down to $100 now. And then we're not going to go any further on that. So let's change that to 100 bucks. Okay, that's very, very aggressive, to be honest. But again, it's a scalping strategy. So that, again, while we do that, so this has increased. The drawdown has decreased. We're going the right way. The profit factor has increased again. Things that didn't move are this largest winning trade and largest losing trade. So they remain neutral. The things that did change for us, average winning trade and average losing trade. So, you know, we are getting to the point now where we're getting to the extreme of what we can do on this particular filter. But we're going in the right direction. Still not happy with this max drawdown. I'll either get it lower. So let's now check what we've done with that $100. Has it made it better or worse? Okay, there we go. We've gone from net profit of 3,614 down to 2,122. So, you know, we've only reduced the drawdown by about $12, but reduced that net profit. So we've got to go back. We've gone too far, and that's what it is when you're playing with one of these filters at a time. When you're optimizing, we've gone too far, so we take it back to 125. Okay, so we know we've gone as far as we can on that. So the max loss needs to be 125, which is 10 ticks. Yeah, so it's gone against us 10 ticks, and that is where we need to be with there. So let's click apply there. Okay, so we've gone back to where we were on 125. Now what I want to do is per consecutive per day, consecutive losses. Okay, I want to put that at 3. I want to see if that makes a difference. Okay, so max number of losses consecutive per day. So if I get a loser, 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 you know, to begin, I want to be out. I'm going to start it at 3 and I'm going to work down to see if that makes a difference. So remember, and I'll keep repeating this, once you've gone through that initial process of finding out the days of the week, the times of the day to trade, once you've done all of that, now is the time to start really micro-optimizing by looking at each filter at a time. And we've gone through this first filter of max loss to try and reduce that drawdown. And we went too far, we put it back. So now we've gone max number of consecutive losses. Does that make a difference? Okay, it makes absolutely no difference. We're back at 3614, 355. All those figures are the same. So we don't get maximum 3. So we're going to change that to 2 to see if that makes a difference. Max consecutive 2 losses, stop trading for the day. So consecutive per day. I mean, we can do just 3 losses for the day. They don't have to be consecutive. But I don't think there's that many trades that, you know, we might only get 3 or 4 trades a day, you know, and we can look at that while that's actually going. You can actually see it gives you an average number of trades a day, 2.06 over 30 days. So, you know, if we've got a max consecutive losers of 2 in a day, it'll stop trading for us. So that's one of the things that we will look at while we're doing this, is the average number of trades per day. Okay, so has that made a difference? No, it actually not made a difference. So I don't want to go any further, because anything more than 1 consecutive loser day is just going to stop us doing it. But we'll see what that happens. So it's made no difference to those figures. So what I'm going to do is go to strategies again. So what I want to do now is, instead of consecutive per day, we're just going to put per day. So if we have 2 losers in a day, see if that makes a difference. Again, it's just little things just to see. I mean, I'm happy with the profit, because that's 30 days, $3,600, but I'm not happy with the drawdown. If account size is really restrictive, and you have that $621 drawdown, so those losers will take you there, it's really, really difficult to mentally recover from that. You know from the data it will recover, fill that hole, and eventually over the 30-day period make that profit. But psychologically, for the trader, very, very difficult. So let's see if that's made a difference here. Okay, so we've gone down a little bit on the total net profit from 3614 to 3497. The main thing is it's not affected the max drawdown. So actually having that, changing that setting didn't work for me. So there's not a lot that this filter is doing for this particular chart set on 200 ticks for these times of the day. So I've got one more option here, is per strategy. So we're going to put that back to consecutive per day, just as a safety net. So the next thing for me is look at max profit. So I'm going to look at the daily strategy profit here, because we might get some big trades and then a loser. We don't know. I'm going to go way out there at $2,000. Okay, way out. So if I make $2,000 in a day on something like this, I don't want to be trading anymore. Oh no, I've hit the wrong one. I want max profit. I want $2,000. Now, it's probably nowhere near that, but we've got a starting point somewhere. And then if it doesn't make a difference, we'll bring that down. But what I want to do is, as we bring it down, is just to go through that chart again and look at that behavior to see where, if there's anywhere that we can improve, whether it's the losers or the winners. So let's have a quick look at the strategy performance report. Now, we're only on one contract to make $2,000 a day. No, it's made no difference. 3614, 355. So it's made no difference there. What I want to do is just zoom out a little bit. Look at another bunch of trades. You see, we're at a break even here. Just one trade that day. That really doesn't give me anything to go by. So it's very visual, this, so you can see straight away. I can see straight away in the P&L here, winner, which is pretty good. Did we give anything away on these? No, we didn't. Okay, it took in. Okay, so we had an order on this one, but it didn't trigger the order. You see the green vertical line, but we didn't go through there. It broke the stop, so the order was cancelled. We got a winner here. We got a winner there. Could we have made a little bit more money if we were more aggressive on this trailing stop? You see how it came up and came back down again? We're on 21. So maybe if we change this to, say, 15 or something like that, could we have made more money? So I'm just looking at behavior here where, you know, we could have taken, if a more tighter trailing stop would have taken more profit here, would have taken more profit here, and would have taken a little bit more profit there. So, you know, that's happened once. Does that happen again? You know, maybe adjusting that EMA will increase that profit. It won't do anything for the drawdown. And, you know, right now that is a concern. So in this situation, we had it pulled back quite aggressively just to tiptoe us out and then goes again. So in that instance, you would think, you know, more aggressive would have taken more profit, but more conservative would have ended up getting us there. More aggressive, more profit. Here, probably nothing there. So I'm leaning towards probably a trailing stop with a smaller EMA may give us a better result. Pretty flat day here, really. We had 2 break-even trades, so that really gives us no sort of data point to really, or behavior to look at. Here was pretty good. So in this point here, we had a short trade and a long trade. Could being aggressive here with a trailing stop helped us? No, we would have been taken out here. For a smaller profit, probably a slight larger profit there, but that was a good day. You know, to get to these lows and these highs, we could reduce that max profit down to help us with that. Let's kind of try and find one more set of results just to look at behavior. I'm leaning towards having a go at just training that EMA a little bit. Okay, so this was a Sunday. No, only one trade wouldn't have really done anything for us there. Again, it's about understanding that behavior. Sometimes the strategy optimization doesn't look at that behavior and help you out here. Break even trade that day. We had a max loss on this day. You see that red line at the bottom, and remember from that. Okay, so big red bar, so there was a max loss on this day here, and that was one trade. Okay, that was protection, and again, if we hadn't have had that protection, this losing trade would have gone as well. So again, that max loss really helps us to to stop the rot, if you like, because sometimes those things do happen. Let's go, keep going. Okay. Tighter EMA there would have helped for sure, actually. Okay, so what I want to do is go to strategy, and I'm going to just change that to a 15 EMA and see how that affects everything, because remember, this will look at all 30 days now, and we're going to compare that to that previous performance report that we have and see if we've made an improvement by just making that trailing stop a little tighter, or whether it's gone too much and we're making less profit. Okay, so there we are. Let's look at that strategy performance report. Okay, so actually that is worse off. Can you see we've gone down from 3,614 to 3,505. What it has done though is brought the drawdown to 563, which is, some of the things I was after. That drawdown's actually helped a little bit. So we've lost a little bit of profit, but the max drawdown's gone down a little bit here. Average winning trade is has gone down a lot actually. So this really we were 209. We've gone down to 174. Average losing trades gone from 108 to 138. So that's gone the wrong way. So visually seeing that behavior and making those changes, we've done that, but actually we've gone the wrong way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to adjust that again, because 21 really is the sweet spot. But what I'm going to do is just going to take that to 25, just to make sure, because changing it, moving it down, making it more aggressive did not help us. And what I want to do now is making it more conservative. Does that help us down to up to 25? And then what we're going to do is go back to adjusting that max profit for the day to see if that can help us with that drawdown as well. At some stages, some strategies, you've got to accept where the drawdown is and look at those as acceptable. But when setting that max consecutive losers, you've got a lot of protection in there as well. So let's see what this has done to this. So again, it's taking it the wrong way again, so we're making less profit. The drawdown's pretty much back to where it is. So 21 is the sweet spot. So let's change that back. Going to change that back now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go we're just going to cut that in half to $1,000 on the max profit. Okay, we're going to click apply, and we're going to enable. So we've gone back to that original trailing stop EMA of 21, because that's what we put as default, because it's pretty much the one. But you could find, if you go down to 100 tick charts, you need to be more aggressive. Or 150. So be patient. Don't start pressing a load of buttons while this is calculating, or even pressing that OK button down there. Let NinjaTrader do its job first. Otherwise, if you start clicking too many buttons, it tries to catch up and you may actually crash the system. Nothing is perfect. So what we've done now is we've gone for that max profit. Does that affect the performance report at $1,000? 3,608, 621. So it's done. We've gone down from 37 to 33 trades. The average winning trade now has gone up to $230. The average losing trade gone down to $103. So just by we've reduced our net profit by a few bucks, but what we've done is reduce the number of trades by 4, but we've actually increased that average winning trade. We've decreased that average losing trade. The drawdown's still sort of pretty much where it is. So we are getting better in the fact that those largest winning trade is $907 now compared to $744. The average losing trade is still the same at $255. So we're actually getting a better set of results. The profit factor has gone from 3.55 to 3.92. So we are getting along. I'm going to export that now. We're going along the right way. I would like to see where that is if we can. So that's a max loss. That's a max loss. So 2 days max loss, not good. But again, we've got to accept those drawdowns. I'm probably going to reduce that. I mean, here, look, we had 2 great trades here. We didn't really give too much away on those, so very, very happy with those. We went through a period of getting those max losses quite bad, but that's that's the way it goes. But max losses are there for protection. We just got 1 winning trade that day. Okay, we're at the end of the chart set, so I'm just going to go forward back to the beginning. I'm just going to scrunch that up a little bit, and so we've only got probably 1 max profit. There it is. So there's the max profit. What I want to do is make sure that didn't. I mean, we've got better data with that. 2 big long trades. Did we give anything away that day? Probably not, actually, because what happened is 2 big winners. Then that was a break even. That was a little winner. That was a loss. So what it did was took away some of those losing trades, so we get to where we want to be. We can see actually here that was probably right. We got a little bit more to play with on this trade. So I'm going to go and make that a little bigger to begin with, that max profit, and then I'm going to go the other way if it doesn't make any difference. So I've changed, I got that new spreadsheet done. So what I'm going to do is just make that a little bigger to begin with, just to see if it makes a difference. So we had a max profit 1,000. So let's just change that to 1,200. Once we get to the sweet spot on here, the next thing to do is get that max consecutive winners. We know there's 2 here, so we will start at 2 and then try and do that. Every time we're trying to either increase or keep the net profit the same, but look at trying to reduce the max drawdown. But one of the big things is look at those largest winning and largest losing trades, and those sort of max, or they as average winning trades and average losing trades, trying to reduce them as best as possible. Okay, more profit there. So let's see what that did. Obviously that's occurs more than once. Perfect. Now this has made a massive difference. So we are now, it's not changed the max drawdown, but we've got more net profit. Profit factor's gone over 4. Average winning trade's gone from 230 to 240. Average losing trade still the same. So even if we were at 50-50, we're more than double what our average losing trade is. Largest winning trade now is over $1,000 for 1 contract. Largest losing trade is 255. So we are pretty much at the maximum where we want to be now, because our largest winning trade is not quite. It's not $1,200. It's $1,000. But that's the largest winning trade on its own. We get max consecutive winners of 6 here. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to right click and export that again. When I'm looking at this one here, we've not got a lot else left in the tank. Let's just see, let's just take it up small increments. So we're going to take this now to 1,300. I think we're just about where we want to be. I mean, for one contract, scalping, max profit of the day 1,300 is pretty good. Obviously, if you're doing more than one contract, you would double, but then you would, in theory, double that max drawdown as well. Again, if you're trading more than one contract, you've really got to be probably more aggressive with the EMA period. Max risk probably less as well. Okay, so that's pretty good. That got in that trade. How does that affect the strategy performance report? Okay, that's taking it back down. Okay, so we've gone from 3,805 to down 3,687. Profit factor 3.98 from 408. So we've gone too far. Okay, because it's not just this instance where we get max profit. There's other instances in that 30 days. So we've gone too far, which we want to do. We want to push the boundaries, but we know we go back to 1,200, and this is where we want to be. That's our sweet spot. So 1,200 is now our sweet spot. So let's have a look at max number of wins now. So consecutive per day or per day. So let's have a look at per day to begin with, and let's look at 3. See if that changes anything. We're pretty much optimized now for this one strategy. Again, it's a reasonably long process, and this has taken me about an hour, but it's very, very important to do and go through this process for each instrument. You may want to trade ES on a 200 tick at certain times of the day, 150 tick on another time of day, and 500 tick on the real volatile times of the day. You've got to go through each process one at a time for each chart set. Okay, so let's look at the strategy performance report now, see if that has changed. So that's not changed it at all. So we're back at 3,805, profit factors over 4, fantastic. We have average winning trade 240, average losing trade 103. So we're pretty much where we are. There's not a lot else to do. I can just look at that max number of winners per day. I'll change that to 2. See if that makes a difference. Remember, we don't want to go the wrong way. Still concerned about the drawdown, but that's something I may have to live with this particular strategy. There are a couple of things we can do. Expire entry after M bars. At the moment it's set at 15. We could change that to 10 to see if some of those longer out type trades actually were failures. So we can have a look at that in a second. So strategy performance report, number of winning trades per now there we go. So this, now we've hit the sweet spot. So number of winning trades per day 2. Now we've gone on net profit, which was 3,805 to 3,925. More importantly, the max drawdown has gone from 621 to 365. That is where we want to be. So sometimes you think, I've just got to adjust that max loss. Actually, it's actually the max number of winning trades per day. In this case, we've refined it. We've gone through the process. So now the max drawdown is more acceptable to me. We've got less trades. There's only 29 trades. Win rate is 65%. Average winning trade has gone from 240 to 258. Average losing trade just below $100 now. Really key at this point. So largest winning trade over $1,000, largest losing trade $180. Largest losing trade was 255 before. So we've now gone through and found that sweet spot. Okay, so we're saying at on these days, between these hours of the day on the 200 tick chart, actually max winners per day 2 gives us a better opportunity and of retaining that profit. We've got that max profit amount at $1,200. So when we get those 2 runners, we're not giving anything away. More importantly for me, during this period, that max drawdown has gone down to $365, which is really key for me, whilst actually getting more net profit. So we're good. We're good to go. Obviously, the short trades, better profit factor here than the long trades, but overall we're good long and short. We have a great looking strategy here. So again, remember, just to reiterate, on the strategy here we have lots of options. Once we've gone through those basic options, we start to really go into this P&L protection. This is the key factor. Yes, we can change those EMA periods, we can change that max risk, change the entry M bars, you know, those short entry offsets and everything. They will make slight changes, but some of the main changes that we do is this P&L protection. We don't do that until we've got the right days of the week, the right times of the day to trade. So again, watch this video a couple of times. Then you can start to look at other instruments, different chart types, whether it's tick, volume, Renko, Uni Renko. Just find the sweet spot. Take that time. Now this is done over a 30-day look back period, but I would suggest at the end of every week is to look at and compare those figures. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to talk about we've got a start point now for a really strong strategy, but you need to monitor the behavior of that strategy, because the behavior of this instrument could change. Now, I wouldn't suggest you doing it every single day, but at the end of every week, you've got a start point on that performance report, and some of the things to really look at and see what have changed, because you may have to start re-optimizing. Now, sometimes I've gone for 5 or 6 weeks without having to optimize, but sometimes conditions change in the markets, and we need to be aware of this. You can't fire and forget these. So when we look at the performance report, let's download that spreadsheet, and then we can look at that spreadsheet, and that's our start point. So at the end of every week, what are we really looking at? So some of the things we need to consider is that drawdown. Does it change? Going lower is good. Going much higher than, you know, if we're doubling that, there's something not quite right. But then you will start to see those max consecutive losers. So if all of a sudden we have a drawdown period that goes more than your max drawdown in a week, more than your max consecutive losers, so we get 4 max consecutive losers, the drawdowns at $500, things have changed. Disable the strategy and re-optimize. Now this may not happen for 4, 5, 6 weeks. It may happen after 1 week. It may happen after 2 weeks. There's no crystal ball when market conditions and behaviors are going to change. Some of the other things to look at is this average winning trade and average losing trade. Okay, so they will all start to tie in together. Average number of trades per day is now only 1.62, which is reasonable. But all of a sudden, if we're going to 0.5, we're not in the groove anymore. We're not trading as much. So we need to look at those times of the day. Maybe the 200 tick chart is not working anymore between those times of the day. Do we need to adjust it to 150 or to 250? So have your start point and highlight some of these main things. I mean, time to recover after a drawdown, 10 days. Longest flat period, 3 days. If you have a flat period of 6 days and your average number of trades obviously will go down, maybe you need to re-optimize. So have your start point, understand what those main figures are. Okay, you know, largest winning trade, largest losing trade as well. Take a look at those. Look at that profit factor as well. A profit factor of 5 is phenomenal. You can't always keep it there. But if you start to go to 3, you'll see some of these other figures change and start to look to re-optimize. All I would suggest is at the end of every week, my Saturday mornings is looking and comparing the data from my start point on what's happened during the week. Is it better? Yes, good. Leave it. Don't broke it. Don't, you know, if it's not broke, don't change it. If things are starting to, you know, if we tested that max consecutive losers, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay. Max consecutive winners, not really that important. Obviously, if we're 3 and 3, that makes a big difference. But these data points that I've highlighted here in yellow, these are your start points. You really need to understand if those are changing. So hopefully that helps. It's been quite a long, it's just over an hour, but it should take you, once you have this down to a T, because it's taken me an hour because I've been trying to explain what I've been doing, but I've been doing this quite a long time now, and I can optimize a strategy in sometimes 20 to 30 minutes because you just get used to changing those one things at a time. You understand where you want to go, and once you've got this strategy optimized, to keep it re-optimized, you know, just if things start to go out, it shouldn't take that long, but take your time to begin with, get into that routine and you'll be fine.